Hello everyone, I am the Warped Adventurer, and today we're back with something a little new. We're starting another new little series on my channel, and it's something, it's a little something I like to call deck scenes, and basically the idea is we're going to look at a scene that you would see playing a specific deck, and this time we're doing my Marin of Clan Niltoth deck, as that one seemed to be something you all enjoyed quite a bit. And so, we're looking at this board state, and I will tell you, there is a way to win with this board state. I will show you how, and today's video is called How to Chain. I know it's a weird title, but basically the idea is I'm going to show you how to chain cards together in the most optimal fashion. And as I said, there is a way to win with this board state. I will show you how, and I will explain it while I do so. I will show you how, and I will explain it while I do so. And so, I will explain the board. First off, we have Swiftfoot Boots on the field. We have Alter Dementia. We have 19 experience counters, which are off screen, but they're there. We have 19 creatures in our graveyard, along with 4 non-creature things. We have 4 forests, 3 swamps, a Golgari Rot Farm. We have a Korzada Guildmage, Marin of Clan Niltoth, obviously, a Deathbloom Ritualist, a Ravenous Squirrel with 13 1/1 counters on it, and what else? And in hand, we have Exoskeletal Armor and Rise of the Witch King. So, let's get to it. So, first off, I will tell you the main creatures in here that we care about. First off, we care about Gravewaker, which is, it costs 6 for a 5/5 bird spirit with flying. You pay 7 and return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And that is nice because of Deathbloom Ritualist. You tap at X mana of any one color where X number of creature cards in your graveyard. So this will let us return multiple creatures to field in one turn as long as we have enough mana. Then, another important one is Kessig Cagebreakers. They are 3/4 whenever they attack. Put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking for each creature card in your graveyard. That's obvious why it's so important. And then finally, we have Bloodspore Thrinax. It's cost 4 for a 2/2. It has Devour 1, so as it enters battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures, enters battlefield with that many 1/1 counters on it. Then, it also says each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Bloodspore Thrinax. Notably, it does not say power, it says number of 1/1 counters, so you can't just buff it with non-counters, it has to be counters. But, I will show you how it works. Then, I will explain why it works. So, we start off our turn, we draw for turn, land for turn. Then, first things first, we pay green and a colorless. We'll just tap it like that. We'll tap Golgari Rot Farm and enchant Ravenous Squirrel with Exoskeletal Armor. The armor says enchant creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. So currently it's getting +19/+19. Let me double check creature numbers 3. So currently he's getting +19/+19, as well as the 13 1/1 counters, which is going to make him a 33/33. Real big and scary, I know. Then, next thing we want to do is tap Deathbloom Ritualist to add 19 black mana to the mana pool. Then we want to pay a green, a black, and 2 colorless. Well, we'll say a green, black, and 2 colorless. We want as much green open as possible, since we just dumped 19 black mana into our mana pool. That is why I tapped as little green as possible. So we now have the 19 black mana in our mana pool. Now I did it like that because we want to do it before we end up returning our creature from our graveyard to the battlefield. As right now we have 19. I mean, afterwards we would still have 19, but still. It's good to do it like that, just in case your opponents do something. Then you cast Rise of the Witch King. Each player sacrifices a creature. If you sacked a creature this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you sacrifice Wood Elves and return Gravewaker to the battlefield. Now we have the repeatable recursion on field. So now we have Gravewaker out, we have 19 black mana floating in our mana pool, and we have 4 green at the ready. First things first, we want to use 1 green and 3 of the black to activate Korzada Guildmage and sacrifice Ravenous Scroll to create 33 Saprolings. Now, that in and of itself is quite terrifying. But that's not what you care about. 33 power on the board is not going to end the game. It may come close, it may make you archenemy, and as it should, that's a lot of power. But it's not going to be enough to close out the game. However, with your 16 black still at the ready, will close out the game is simply activate Gravewaker and return Bloodspore Thrinax from the graveyard to the battlefield. You are now down to 9 mana in your mana pool. As it enters, you sacrifice all 33 Saprolings, and why not toss Korzada Guildmage into the mix to get 34. Sacrifice Deathbloom Ritualist too to get 35 1/1 counters on Bloodspore Thrinax. Then you activate Gravewaker again. You are now down to 2 black mana in your mana pool and get Kessig Cagebreakers to the battlefield, getting 35 1/1 counters on them as well. And then let's use one of the green to activate Swiftfoot Boots, slapping them booties onto the Kessig Cagebreakers. And now you have a 38-39 that has haste as well as hexproof. So now this is where your opponents would interact if they could. And since I don't have opponents right now, they don't interact. And you are going to then go straight to combat, swing Kessig Cagebreakers at one of your foes. You have 3 foes. We'll just say it's a normal game of 4-pod commander. We'll swing with Kessig Cagebreakers, and since you now have 20 creatures in your graveyard, you are going to create 20 wolves tapped and attacking that all enter with 35 1/1 counters because of Bloodspore Thrinax. And you're gonna send enough at each of your opponents to kill all of them. So basically, first things first, you enchant your big creature with the with your exoskeletal armor. Make it even bigger. Otherwise, you might not be able to finish off your opponents. But with just one of these getting through, you probably will, considering how late in the game it would be by now. So now you have a massive creature. Then you want to find a way to get your repeatable recursion onto field. And so that's where the Rise of the Witch King came in. You want to do that. That way you can use your mana creator, your mass mana creator, to activate it enough to get first Bloodspore Threnex out and the Kessig Cagebreakers out in one turn. That would let this hit, sacrifice all those Saprolings that you sacrificed to the Korzada Guildmage to make it a massive creature. Then you have the Kessig Cagebreakers enter, make them big as well for shits and giggles. You equip the boots on them, that way they can attack immediately. And swing for game, giving you all those wolves. Now, if you are struggling to get the right pieces into your graveyard, get the right pieces in general, I find that the best card I know of for Meren to fetch the cards you want is your Burning Rune Demon. He is the boogeyman of this deck, I would say. When he comes out, the game's gonna end real soon for somebody. Because he enters. You fetch Swiftfoot Boots and you fetch Eternal Witness. Doesn't matter which goes where. If they send Swiftfoot Boots to the graveyard, you're like, oh no, Meren only recurs creatures. You play Eternal Witness, get Boots to hand, you play the Boots. If they send Eternal Witness to graveyard, that's fine. You play Boots. That's what you wanted in the first place. And you can, on end step, recur the Eternal Witness to re-get Rise of the Witch King back to your hand. Or something like that. Then, or, instead of getting Eternal Witness back, you sacrifice Burning Rune Demon to the Altar of Dementia. Mill yourself for 6, because Meren loves creatures in the graveyard, and milling is a decent way to do that. And then, on end step, you get Burning Rune Demon right back to the field, so you can fetch another 2 creatures, like Bloodspore Threnex and Kessig Cagebreakers, or Gravewaker and Bloodspore Threnex. And then, on your next upkeep, you sacrifice Burning Rune Demon, and you play your Gravewaker, and you recur Burning Rune Demon with Gravewaker to fetch the 2 cards you want, like Kessig Cagebreakers and your Deathbloom Ritualist. Point being is Burning Rune Demon is amazing because he fetches 2 cards and your opponents choose which one goes to hand, which one goes to the graveyard, right? That's now in most decks that's like, oh no, your opponents choose where it goes. That's not that great. I mean, honestly, it is that great, but in a non-graveyard based deck, it's not amazing. But I mean, it's still amazing because you're getting 2 best cards in your deck. They're like better of 2 evils. But point being is, with Meren, you don't always fetch your destructive cards immediately because people expect you to do that. And so when you get like Eternal Witness and Swiftfoot Boots, they're not going to think much of it. Or they may be smart and catch on to the fact that you're building up a combo like that. Regardless, this has been how to spot infinite. Regardless, this has been how to chain together your cards. Now, I made this video because I felt like a lot of people struggle when it comes down to the when you start getting to the you're casting a bunch of spells or you're activating a bunch of abilities, you're trying to put them in the right order, because if you do them in the wrong order, it all comes apart. So I wanted to just give you an insight into how people who do this often see it and how they work it, and hopefully that helps you guys when you come down to the table with your Meren deck and everybody goes, oh shit, we're all dead. This has been the Warped Adventure. I hope you enjoyed this Warped Adventure. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out.